Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Allincrypto here, and today we are doing a little bit of sightseeing whilst we talk about meme coins. Now, this may be a video that might piss some people off that don't see the fundamentals in meme coin and thus the law of investing in them, but whether you like it or not, in my opinion, meme coins are going to do very well, and for the reason of never underestimating the madness of crowds. So whether you don't see any value in meme coins or not doesn't mean that other people don't, and actually people will invest in something just because they think they can make money, and that's kind of, I guess, in some ways the whole game of investing. So we're gonna discuss a number of things in this video. We're gonna be talking about a mistake I made in 2020 so that you guys perhaps don't have to make that same mistake when it comes to meme coins, as somebody who was very negative on the likes of Dogecoin, as fundamentally there's nothing really behind it. But that was my own opinion, and still it outperformed a lot of the crypto space. I had no idea Elon Musk was gonna get behind it. I had no idea that the kind of Wall Street bets community was going to get behind it, and the whole GameStop community, but they did, and it just goes to show what I know. And actually I can see Dogecoin doing very well. I think it's technically setting up in the same manner that it did from 2017 to 2021 before it had that big run, or 2020 before it had that big run. And actually some of the other meme coins people are going to speculate on in the hope or the promise of getting rich, and some of them might. You heard all these stories, and I think that will repeat in the kind of bull market that we're now in. So we'll be talking about my mistake, we'll be talking about the likes of Elon Musk, GameStop, and the fact they could be doing the same thing today. We'll be talking about the fact that history is repeating for Dogecoin, and actually when you look at the likes of some of the other meme coins out there, they look very similar to an early stage Dogecoin or a 2017, 2020 kind of smaller versions of that. We've got the likes of Shiba Inu, we've got the likes of Bonk, we've got the likes of Pepe that are all doing spectacularly, and they all seem to be doing really well, and they've all kind of woken up and in my opinion are likely to be going higher, and there's an opportunity there. So I don't personally invest in meme coins, but I will trade them. I will make money off them regardless of my views on them fundamentally, because my views are my views. They're not the market's views. You know, I am one participant in an entire market, thousands, millions of people, and ultimately, again, I really want to highlight this, never underestimate the madness of crowds. In fact, there's been entire books wrote on the madness of crowds and what I think is largely irrelevant when it comes to FOMO and mania and the kind of get rich quick tulip mania-esque nature of meme coins. You know, I don't think fundamentally there's really anything behind them, but that doesn't mean they're not going to go up in price. And actually anybody that's had enough time in the markets will know that it's very common, or in my opinion, it's very common, that actually often things don't move on fundamentals more, or immediate fundamentals more, you know, the kind of madness of crowds and what people are speculating on. So let's start off, as promised, by my mistake in 2020. You know, I've been in the crypto space since 2017 as an investor, but really got interested in crypto back in the days of Silk Road. But that was when I first heard about crypto, and this kind of idea of magic internet money got introduced to me. And then of course I've been in the crypto space for a long time, but in 2020, kind of pre everything going crazy, we were making lots of videos. We were kind of expecting the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory, which is what a lot of my kind of investment analysis was based on back then in 2018-19. It's what kind of kept me hanging on for dear life during that bear market, which some of you guys have lived through a similar experience in the previous one that we've just gone through. It was a rather easy one for us as we were out the market for the bear and back in at the start of January 2023 when we were transitioning. But in 2022, I remember making a video, and it's still out there. We don't delete any videos, even the ones that we get wrong, because it's a great way to learn. You know, the definition of an idiot is somebody that does the same thing with an undesired result over and over again and doesn't learn from it or try and change it. We're not trying to be that. But we made a video talking about how you shouldn't invest in Dogecoin because it was essentially garbage. You know, there was nothing back in it. There was no fundamental reason to be interested in it, and it wasn't going to make a good investment. And it goes to show what I know, given the fact that it literally outperformed pretty much the entire crypto space, which, you know, goes to show really what I know. And again, don't underestimate the madness of crowds. I had no idea the likes of Elon Musk and the sort of GameStop crowd were going to get involved with it, but they did. And the interesting thing was, if I had only paid attention to what was technically setting up, like what's technically setting up today, you know, I wouldn't have made that mistake. And if you go and take a look at Dogecoin today and how it's setting up, it's very much setting up in the same fashion to what led to the kind of moves that we saw in 2021. So even though fundamentally I don't think there's anything really behind Dogecoin or many of these meme coins, it doesn't matter because the madness of crowds is far stronger, and people will literally invest in something if they think it's going to go up and make them money, and oftentimes they do. Just remember to sell, okay, at the right time, or when you think is the right time, or when you've made enough money, or when you think the general market's topping out, which might be hard for a lot of retail investors to spot. So essentially I think Dogecoin actually is going to do quite well, believe it or not. And I never thought I'd make a video saying that given my stance on it. But again, you know, I learned a lot of lessons from the prior bull market and really learned not to underestimate the madness of crowds. You know, Elon maybe he seems to have a bit of a favoritism for Doge. I think if Dogecoin does well, the rest of the altcoin market will perform. Again, if you look technically at where Dogecoin's at, it looks very similar to the kind of price action that you saw, and it's now just woken up going into 2021, where you had all that mania for Dogecoin. It became one of the best performing assets. You saw all these stories of people becoming millionaires. I'm sure there's going to be similar stories. Again, like I say, I don't actually invest in it, but doesn't mean I'm against it. I will trade it, but in terms of a long-term investment, I don't really see the value in it. But then again, what do I know? You know, somebody like Elon might decide that he's going to use it as the currency for Mars. It's not just Dogecoin that's going to do well in regards to this coming bull market, I don't think. And it's crazy to say that I'm making a video on Dogecoin as somebody who takes himself seriously as a crypto investor. But lesson learned from the prior bull, it's likely going to do well. The other meme coins are likely going to do well. Shiba Inu is setting up in a similar fashion to what Dogecoin did pre its pump, and I think it will benefit from a result of it. I know some people say fundamentally there's a lot more going on with Shiba in regards to their Shibarium and things like that, and the Bone token. So I think it will do well also. I also think there's coins like Bonk, Pepe that are doing well, have shown us the first kind of signs of life, the first lambs of spring. And ultimately, you know, if we have the general market right and we think everything is in a bull market at this stage, and we've got the global macro right, which we're going to be talking about tomorrow in regards to who's going to be buying all the bonds up and where's that liquidity going to be coming from, then it's very likely that meme coins won't get left out of that. And actually, given the small nature of them, given the kind of mania and the madness of crowds that forms around them, they might do quite well. So I do think there is an opportunity there. Whether you choose to take it or not is entirely up to you. Like I say, from an investment point of view, I don't really play around with memes, but from a trading point of view, and actually going into this pump, we had setups for the likes of Bonk, Pepe, Shiba, and actually Doge was the only one that we didn't quite have a setup for, but they were all predicting some pretty explosive upside, and we've got it. And I think if you look historically at the charts and how things play out, it's likely that they're going to continue, maybe not do the same kind of percentages that Doge did back in 2021, but I do think they will do well. And actually Dogecoin historically has done very well in bull markets. Whether you think there's a fundamental reason for it, which I don't, I just literally think it's because people are always coming up with ways to try and get rich. So we'll see how it plays out. But that was our video. We didn't want to kind of allow people to feel left out. You know, we don't really cover them on the channel much, but just because we don't cover them doesn't mean that they aren't going to do well. And actually we do think they'll do well with the rest of the market. If you get the right narrative, like what we saw with Elon and things like GameStop and Wall Street's bet behind one of these, who knows what they might do. Good luck trying to find out which one's going to get that narrative and benefit the most from it, which meme coins those are going to be. But we are bullish on meme coins. I never thought I'd say that. And ultimately, not because we fundamentally see the value in the projects, but because we don't underestimate the madness of crowds and essentially what could be coming. And if we see any setups or if we see any reasons to be trading them, we will take them regardless of our kind of distaste for them. Fundamentally, we think it's far better and actually fundamentally changing the world projects out there that are really kind of at the forefront of the distributed ledger technology movement. All that being said though, a lot of the times projects don't move fundamentally. In fact, look at the bear market, for example. Things were just going down because of the nature of the market that we're in, even though fundamentally as projects, users were up, usage was up, TVL was up. It didn't really affect the price until people wake up and actually start to purchase. All markets it's essentially look at a market as a voting mechanism. And again, never underestimate the madness of crowds and the amount of votes, something that fundamentally might not have anything behind it, may get. So that's really all we've got for you guys. It was just a short and sweet one, kind of telling people not to sleep or have some kind of high horse in regards to meme coins, because don't be that person like I was that invested in things fundamentally only to get outperformed by some YOLO kid who was like, I'm gonna put a little bit of money on this and see what it does, and then you know, they made quite a lot of money. There's going to be an opportunity there. Be careful. Don't invest anything that you can't afford to lose. Remember, you know, I think it's a lot more risky investing in things that perhaps don't have the fundamentals or the kind of ground beneath them, like meme coins, because they are, you know, when, just like the Tunic Mania, when those bubbles pop, they really do pop, and you can literally lose everything on meme coins and betting on the wrong ones. But the 4 that we highlighted seem to be doing quite well. I would probably play in the bigger ones and not the smaller ones, just to kind of try and avoid that where possible. You know, like the new ones that launch and, you know, it just turns out to be a rug. I wouldn't get involved in those. Do whatever you guys want. You know, I'm not here to give anyone financial advice, but I would play in the bigger ones. And ultimately, you know, if you can get on the right side of a narrative or some kind of hype or this kind of gold rush, then do it. And I think meme coins offer that kind of an opportunity. Guys, that's all I've got for you. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.